Welcome back to yet another monthly showcase. We have arrived in November and we are currently preparing for our first ever World Link event on the global server. But we will handle the World Link event later, as we will go in standard order, starting with the birthdays. In November we have a birthday boy and a birthday girl that needs to be celebrated, and we're starting off with the birthday girl being MEIKO. MEIKO's anniversary live show will start on November 5th with her anniversary gacha starting on the same day and running until November 11th. MEIKO is a cool attribute card, and because she is an anniversary card, she will be unitless, or blank as we also call it. This means that she is only a 40% card up until the virtual singer changes that we will see in June with the Bloom Festival patch. And she is usable with a 40% bonus in 3 events. The first event is the Courage to Lead, the Kindness in My Heart, that will run from February 10th to February 18th and is a Leonid cool attribute unit focused event. This is followed by Whip the Wimp Girl that will run from April 30th to May 7th and is a Vivi Bad Squad unit focused cool attribute event that is also limited. After that, she sees use as a 40% card during the event Lead to Shine More that will run from June 10th to June 18th and is a More Jump unit focused event in the cool attribute as well. Finally, post the Bloom Festival virtual singer changes, MEIKO does see use in a event as a 50% card. She sees use in the event Rekindle the Flame that will run from October 21st to October 29th and is a Vivid Bad Squad unit focused event. And while the event availability does not matter for the events where MEIKO will be available with a 40% bonus, because she will always be lower gameplay value than her 50% counterpart, in Rekindle the Flame she is a 50% card competing on the same level as her other options. And MEIKO is not part of this gacha, meaning that she's only ever available with a 50% bonus for the event Rekindle the Flame, meaning that the birthday card is of higher gameplay value. Moving along to our second birthday, our birthday boy of the month is AKITO, who will have his birthday live show on November 12th. The birthday live show will be available until November 13th, and his gacha will of course start alongside the birthday live show and then run all the way to November 18th. AKITO, on the other hand, is a mysterious card, meaning that he sees use in a single event as a 50% bonus card. The event in question is Over Rad Squad that will run from June 30th to July 7th. In the gacha for Over Rad Squad is AKITO, Kohane, and Vivid Bad Squad Miku, meaning that AKITO is available with a 70% bonus if you do wanna pull from Over Rad Squad. This of course means that the birthday AKITO is of lower gameplay value since he sees no other use, and in Over Rad Squad he will be outmatched by his gacha card. And that covers all of the future usability for both of the birthday cards available during November. As always, if you prefer the second year or first year counterpart of the Happy Birthday cards, they will be available as standalone gachas once the 3rd anniversary Happy Birthday gachas goes live for each one of the characters. And of course, these gachas being standalone means that you have to pull from each one of the gachas if you want all 3 of the Happy Birthday cards. And my final tip, as always, is to get your summons in as soon as possible, as birthday gachas do not stick around for very long. So mark the date of November 4th and November 11th and make sure you have your crystals ready if you want either MEIKO or AKITO for your collection. And November is special in several ways, as this will be our first month where we will have more than one rerun available at a time. In November we will have 3 reruns going live at different dates. And as always, I will be very clear about this, 2 of these gachas are having their second and final rerun as standalone gachas. This means that this is your final chance to pull from these gachas as standalone gachas, with the cards being rated up before the cards are phased into the Recollection Festival gacha pool. If you wanna know more about the discontinuation of the limited gachas and what the Recollection Festival actually entails, I humbly ask you to watch my discussion video on the Recollection Festival gacha. In that video, I go into depth about what this means for the limited gachas and how the Recollection Festival work. I will leave a link to the video in the description. But getting into the actual rerun, the first gacha that will become available is the Spooky Forest gacha. This is the first rerun of this gacha, and it will go live on November 11th and run all the way to November 20th. And in this gacha is Kohane, Minori, and Shiho. The second and final rerun for this gacha is already confirmed though on the Japanese server. It had its final rerun between August 16th and August 25th, meaning that we can expect the Spooky Forest gacha to have its final rerun on EN in August of 2025. So if you wish to pull from the Spooky Forest gacha but you do not currently have the crystals, you can wait until August 2025, but that will be your final chance on the gacha at that point. The second gacha to release is the final rerun of the gacha One with My Crew. The gacha will run from November 16th to November 25th, and this will be your final time that you can pull for the AKITO and the Anne as a standalone gacha. The final gacha that will have its rerun in November is Yearning for Spring, A Moment in the Night, or 1.5 Anniversary as it's more commonly known as. This is also the final rerun for this gacha, and it will start on November 25th once One with My Crew ends and run all the way to December 4th. Just like One with My Crew, this is your final chance to pull for Miku, Luca, Len, and Kaito as a standalone gacha with the characters being rated up. So if you're interested in One with My Crew or Yearning for Spring, A Moment in the Night, this will be your final chance to get these cards from the standalone gacha before you will have to resort to pulling from the Recollection Festival. I once again ask that if you have not watched the video I made on the Recollection Festival that you do, so you are fully aware of what the discontinuation of the gachas mean and how it will go forward. As from now on, many gachas will start getting discontinued and phased into the Recollection Festival, and it's good to be prepared for when that happens. As for the paid gachas, we are in quite the predicament. On the Japanese server during November 2023, there was a pick list. The pick list ran between November 25th and December 4th and had all 4-star cards up until Never-Ending Showtime available in the pick list pool. Interestingly enough, they did not announce this gacha during the monthly announcements for Project Sekai Global. This means that this gacha might have been cancelled for the global server, but I will mention it here that there should be a pick list somewhere in November with all cards up until Never-Ending Showtime available. As always, you pick 10 cards of the permanent variety that you wish to pull from, and then you pay 3000 paid crystals to get a single one of those 10 cards guaranteed. But since it was not announced or mentioned, we can't say for sure if we will get it on the English server, but it's not unheard of that we get paid gachas that have not been priorly announced before. There is also the Fall 2024 campaign gacha that will run between November 9th and November 25th. And it was never explicitly stated that this would be a paid gacha, they just said that you need a Fall 2024 campaign ticket to actually pull from it. I am pretty certain that this is a paid gacha and it will cost around $499 to pull from the gacha like previous similar gachas have done. But since they did not overtly announce that it is a paid gacha, I can say that you could be cautiously optimistic that it might be part of the fall logging campaign, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. Instead, I am telling you that this most likely is a paid gacha where you pick up a ticket from the store for $499 and you don't even get a guaranteed 4-star. Just to temper our expectations at least. And running alongside this fall campaign gacha is the fall logging campaign that will run from November 9th to November 25th. They did not actually announce what you would get from the fall logging campaign, but we can assume that it's things such as crystals, maybe a few energy cans, and maybe some practice scores or skill up scores if we're lucky. I am going to guesstimate that we'll get around 800 crystals, which is pretty standard for these types of logging campaigns, and maybe around 5 energy cans. But as always, they did only announce the date, so I could be completely wrong about what the fall login campaign actually entails, and therefore you should not take my words as gospel when it comes to what rewards you will get. Just know that on November 9th you can start logging in and getting rewards from the fall login campaign. We will also have a third Miku Expo login campaign that is a single day, so make sure you log in on November 15 to get the Miku Expo Australia New Zealand reward that is similar to the previous rewards we have gotten from the Miku Expo campaigns. Our final login campaign is a Black Friday once daily free gacha that did not have a date yet announced during the announcement stream. Seeing though as it is a Black Friday campaign, I am assuming it's going to start somewhere between November 25th and November 30th. And it was not announced how many free pulls we would get, but seeing as this campaign has run before, I am assuming it will be similar to the last couple of years. And that covers all of the side content that we will get during November, which only leaves us with the main events. And the first event for November is our first World Link event for the global server. Searching for Sunken Shadows will run from November 8th to November 20th. The World Link event will be divided into 4 chapters, starting with Mafio's chapter running between the 8th and the 11th of November. Following suit is Mizuki between the 11th and the 14th, and after that we will see Enna's chapter from the 14th to the 17th. Rounding us off is Kanada's chapter that will also conclude the event running between the 17th and 20th. World Link events are of course special events with a lot of rules and stipulations that are unique to them, so if you want to know more about the World Link events, I suggest that you watch my long form guide about the topic that I released a few days ago. A link to that will be available down in the description alongside the link to the Recollection Festival video. And the World Link event will of course have a special gacha called Heart of Water that will run from November 8th to November 22nd. And included in this gacha are 4 new cards for the unit members of Nightcore 25, and they come with a special new feature called the 3D MV cut-in that I cannot show due to Sega's terms. But I of course can show the new costumes and the new card art, which are these. Following the World Link event, we will return back to form with our second event of the month being Star of Your Own Story that will run from November 22nd to November 28th. This is a Wonderland Showtime unit-focused event in the mysterious attribute, and the gacha is called Play the Shadows that will run from the 22nd to the 30th of November. And included in the gacha are these 3 new permanent cards. And capping off the month is our standard cheerful carnival event being Picture Perfect. Picture Perfect will run from November 30th to December 8th and is a pure attribute mixed event. The gacha running alongside it is called Your Ticket to City of Splendor that will run from November 30th to December 10th and includes these 3 new limited cards. So November really has a lot going on, yet it kind of feels like a calm month, calming down before we have our global anniversary in December. The introduction of the first World Link event is exciting as always, and seeing that we are having our first batch of final reruns is always something to dread. At the same time, the month isn't that special with the paid gachas, the login campaigns, and except for having 3 reruns, the reruns aren't anything extraordinary. Of course, the World Link event is super exciting, and once again, if you do feel a bit uncertain about the World Link events, I would highly suggest that you watch my World Link guide. You can jump around with the use of the chapter function in the YouTube playbar if you don't want to watch the whole thing. But other than being the special celebratory event that it is, the other 2 events for this month is actually pretty calm, with some great cards but nothing to really get us going, as I would call it. But as always, I could ramble on and on about Project Sekai for hours on end and never get tired of it, and maybe that is why I should be streaming instead of recording videos. But here we are. So, down in the comments as always, tell me how you are feeling about November month. Are you looking forward to any of the gachas, or are you really hyped about the MEIKO 25 World Link event? I love to hear all of your opinions, and I try to read every single comment even if I don't respond to all of them. And while you're down there, make sure that you're subscribed, have rung the bell so you get a notification about the World Link event guide, left a like, and shared it with a friend. All of these things help me a ton and take less than a second to do. But with all of that said, thank you for making it to the end of the video. Without you guys, I would be nothing. I will not keep you here any longer. Let's get out of here for now.